Welcome to 5-Minute Fridays. I'm Dr. J. This week we're going to cover tools to build confidence and removing self-doubt. I have a background of a master's in human performance / applied sports science and a doctorate in sport and performance psychology. So we're going to start out in the space of just thinking about how does self-confidence affect our performance, how does self-confidence affect how we move in our lives. So if we're lacking self-confidence, we might not seek out opportunities for us to grow, to be challenged, or seek out opportunities that are intentionally hard, right? Because it might take us out of our comfort zone. And if we're not leaving our comfort zone as athletes, as individuals, and as people moving around in this life, we're going to miss out on a lot more chances then we're going to save ourselves potential embarrassment or even those self-fulfilling prophecies, right? In addition, we might not feel worthy or deserving of the opportunities that come our way. And that can create guilt or even shame. And that can lead to potential problems where we're not able to act on our full capacity. And that's going to limit our ability to express this confidence and this amazing skill set that we have. And it'll lead into self-sabotaging behaviors that will lead us to self-fulfilling prophecies, right? And so those self-sabotaging behaviors could be as simple as, oh, I don't deserve this opportunity. And so you kind of shy away from the challenges that come with that opportunity. And instead of stepping up and attempting to fill those roles and to grow within this position, to be ready to handle all that position has to offer or that opportunity has to offer, we might shrink instead, right? And so if we're leading with self-doubt instead of self-confidence, that self-doubt might win out and it'll rob us of that opportunity for us to grow. And we'll get down this path of a self-fulfilling prophecy where we aren't quite giving our all, but we might not feel deserving of that opportunity, and we shortchange ourselves in that opportunity. And by shortchanging ourselves, we miss out on creating that special opportunity or taking advantage of that situation and really seeing where that can catapult us into. And those self-fulfilling prophecies would include times where we might have a doubt, and then we don't work to disprove that doubt. In fact, we just allow the situation to kind of take over and we just let things happen. And we're not creating a situation that'll be favorable to us, right? So then soon as this pattern continues to develop, we're going to say, oh, well, this is how it always works out, right? And as we find ourselves faced with similar situations, we might not give as much effort. And slowly but surely, we'll give less effort as we feel that we're being unsuccessful in those pursuits. But in actuality, we've missed an opportunity for us to work and to take advantage of those opportunities because we didn't have that confidence, to have that wherewithal to push past that potential challenge. So now that we've taken a deeper dive into what self-doubt looks like, let's look at the flip of it. How does self-confidence portray itself? How do we act on self-confidence? What might this feel like? And how do we utilize this to our benefit, right? And a common misconception or even kind of a perspective that we might hold around confidence is that when we are confident, we have zero fear. I can tell you from personal experience, not every time that I've been confident have I been free of fear. And it's not that nerves or fear or that small performance anxiety that can come with those big opportunities is a bad thing. It gives us awareness and it gives us encouragement about the awesomeness and the magnitude of that event, right? And so with that comes a special awareness, right? So if we've got that nervousness, we've got a special type of alertness that's going to keep us keyed into that performance. And we're going to be attentive to each detail as it comes across. We're going to be very, very sure of our strategy and be able to adapt in those situations. But our confidence is not that we have no fear. It's that we know what to do with it and we know how to act upon it, right? So then as we move forward, displaying self-confidence, that can look like us understanding that fear and nerves can coincide with confidence. It's just that our self-confidence is our winning mindset. We need to trust our skill, our opportunity, our coaches, our setting, our competition instincts, and give ourselves a chance and be willing to press on, knowing that we can gain confidence as that competition starts, right? So we might not even have all of our confidence right at the start, but maybe when that buzzer goes off, when the ball is tipped, when the ball is put into that first play, we kind of feel this wave of all right, I know what to do now, right? Because we're waiting for that moment for where we've trained our skills to act, right? And so sometimes that space between can be kind of scary because it's that gray space, right? But up until that point, once we get there, We just gotta wait to act on what we know how to do. This confidence can free us to take on more growth opportunities. And with taking on more growth opportunities, that leads us to having more experiences. And with these more experiences, yes, we're gonna face more adversity, but adversity is a growing space. It is difficult, but it is a growing space. And then within this growing space, we learn ourselves better. And when we learn ourselves better, we're able to recognize how do we handle these situations, what works well for us, what doesn't work well for us, and how do we get more of what does work better for us to happen within these small spaces, within these competitions, within these opportunities that we are given. And it's also important to note that not every approach to this is going to work for every athlete. Each athlete is very different in how they approach the game, how they approach their pre-performance routines, right? But that routine will help get us into a rhythm that will help us perform better, whether that's practice, whether that's competition, whether that's large meet or small meeting, right? And learning how to navigate the spaces between. And so our routine is going to play a big part in that, and understanding where our individual differences are going to give us those opportunities for us to fine-tune our routine for ourselves. Now we're going to look deeper at what are some action-oriented approaches to us making self-confidence work for us. So first, practicing and refining our skills to understand where our strengths lie within our sport. Our aim is to improve our skill set so that our strengths become stronger and we're able to utilize them more within our game capacities, right? Or our competition capacities, and continuously rely on those and become more and more confident through the work that we've put in to rely on those skill sets. But it's going to come through us working continuously on those skill sets. If your challenge currently with your sport happens to be moving up in skill or moving up in maturity, sometimes physical strength can give us some more confidence, right? But this also comes with the awareness of the physical strength matching the demands of that sport, right? Which leads us into our next point, right? Maybe we get more fit and we build our sport-specific stamina so that we're more ready to handle more of these game situations, right? Like maybe you already have the skill that's needed, but we're not quite able to play a full enough game, or we're struggling to overcome the last few seconds, those last little pieces of our game to complete the game, right? It's one thing to play well, it's another to have a whole game or to complete a game, right? And so we want to have that confidence that regardless of whether or not we run into an overtime situation, the game is difficult and very physical or very strategic, and it's causing you to rely on all of your skills and all of your understanding, that's going to be fatiguing mentally as well. So we want to have the stamina for each of these sets. Another action-oriented piece would be encouraging yourself after mistakes, or creating space for you to reset between those mistakes, right? The best time to make another mistake is immediately following the mistake that happened just before, right? So if we're unable to let go of the mistake that happened before, we might run into that mistake again, or we might set up a snowball of mistakes that follow continuously after that play because we weren't able to recover mentally and physically from that previous mistake, right? So we find ways to encourage ourselves, we find ways to breathe through those mistakes, and we find ways to continue to press on so that we're able to put together that whole game. Another piece, recognize what your strengths are, right? It doesn't matter what your skills are in comparison to another, but each of us has our own skill set, right? And within that, we've got strengths to play to. And so this goes back to our first point of practicing and refining those skills. But we've got to recognize what our strengths are in so that we can work to better those skills there and then build the skills around those that will lead to us being able to catapult ourselves forward using the things that we do well. And last but not least, I kind of touched on it in the previous point, but building performance routines that help establish a rhythm for ourselves mentally, physically, emotionally, and even spiritually as we head into these competitions will allow us to be better prepared when we're faced with these opportunities, right? It's hard to feel controlled. It's hard to feel like you have a sense of peace when we're coming from a chaotic space, right? And so these pre-performance routines, which can be built into our warm-ups, will help create a sense of calm and a sense of readiness for us to face these challenges so that we can move forward with confidence. For more specific information on how to build a self-confidence routine and pre-performance routine for yourself, feel free to reach out. Thanks again for joining us for this 5-Minute Friday. Please join us again in 2 weeks as we celebrate the 1-year anniversary of 5-Minute Fridays. Once again, I'm Dr. J, and as always, be refined by the grind. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe for more 5-Minute Fridays with your Dr. J.